Send me some sorry lines.
I'm Ilysa.
And I'm Kira.
And you're watching episode 5 of Polymer Clay TV. Today we want to show you how to work with alcohol inks. These ones we're using are called pinata colors. And they're very cool because they dry fast. And what I want to show you is how to apply them directly onto a piece of translucent clay that I've already conditioned and rolled into a flat sheet. And you don't need a lot of ink. I just start off with one drop and I kind of just rub it around with my finger until I get a line of it, because I'm going to stripe out this design. So there's my red. It's actually called chili pepper. And I think I'll go with the purple next. And just a little. A little goes a long way with alcohol inks. And I think I'm going to use a different finger. You should probably wear gloves, but I get a little messy. I don't care. Just wash your hands really well afterwards. Okay, and that's some purple. I can go a little blue. Oh, I went a lot of blue. Doesn't matter. You can just wipe any extra off. And alcohol ink dries really fast. So if you're starting a project, you can get it done pretty fast. So I'm just striping it like this, and I can start again with the next color, which is red, until I get like a rainbow effect. I want to cover the entire piece of translucent, and then after I do that, you want to make sure it's all dry. So I'm going to just finish this up, and then Kira is going to show you how you can mix the ink directly into the clay to change the color of the clay, which is really cool. Here, I need a little more purple. And you don't have to be really neat with this, because it's just a neat effect that it makes, and you don't have to have like really straight lines or anything. You just have to have the color on there. Okay, so here I've striped it, and I'm going to let this dry, and Kira's going to show you how she takes the alcohol ink and puts it into the clay to change the color.
Alcohol ink is different from pigment ink in that it's actually more of a dye. It actually seeps into the translucent or whatever other color you put it on. So this is not the same type of ink that you would use, for, let's say, to stamp an image onto the clay. It wouldn't work like that. So I just smeared some on there, and some is really just an approximation. There's no real recipe. You can come up with your own recipes of how much ink you want to put into the clay in order to change it whatever color you want. You can mix colors of ink. I just used the chili pepper, and I think I might use a drop of blue and see how that comes out. Maybe create my own purple.
Yes, you can mix the colors and get all kinds of neat colors.
Yeah, and like Ilysa said, a little goes a long way. And I just smear them up a little bit. It will dirty your hands, but alcohol ink is soluble with rubbing alcohol. So if you dirty yourself up, you can go get some isopropyl rubbing alcohol and wash off your hands and your work surface. And over here I have that's chili pepper mixed into translucent. This is, what's our color? Passion purple. This is the lime green. And this is my own little blend of chili pepper with a drop of Baja blue.
And you want to remember that you can't stamp into, use a stamp and put the ink on the stamp, because this alcohol ink will just bleed into the clay.
Right. The image will just bleed.
Yeah.
You can't make an image with this. This is for dyeing. If you think about it that way, it's for dyeing your clay colors, or for the effect that Ilysa is going to show you. It's it's just for turning the clay colors, or for making an effect where it's going to bleed. So here's a new color that I made. And if you use translucent as a base, you can make as many different colors as you can think of.
Definitely. Okay, well, I'll show you how now to finish up this project. I've painted on my alcohol ink, and I've actually used a total of 1 bar of clay. This is a half a bar, and I'm going to knead up another half a bar, make a flat sheet again, and I'm going to sandwich that ink in there. So I want to place that right on top of the alcohol ink. Give it a nice firm pat. You can even come in with your roller. So you want to make sure that there's no air bubbles in between the 2 bars of clay, sandwiching. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just roll it up. And you have to make sure that your clay is conditioned well, or it'll start cracking as you go to roll it up. And what I'm creating here is what I call a cane. And the pattern, when I create this cane, is going to go through the entire length. And I can cut slices off. So here I am just doing like a jelly roll, like you would make a jelly roll cake. And here it's cracking a little, because it's translucent's a little tricky. Just push it together so that you close up that crack. You don't want to have the cracks in there. And there I go. This is what it's going to look like when you're done. And what you want to do with canes is you want to make sure these ends meld together really well. So I start rolling it, trying to get it to all meld together. And then I like to run my edges like this on my work surface. And that'll help to close up those ends. And you can pinch them closed if they need to be pinched closed, so that it contains your design in there. So you keep rolling it until you feel like it's all melded together. And you'll feel it, because there won't feel like there's any air pockets or anything in there. So after that, you want to start cutting in to make sure you got your design. So you start with one slice, and that's pretty good, but let's get another one to see if we can get it really clear. So that's actually the design. So I've created a cane just by using only translucent clay, one complete bar of translucent clay, and the alcohol inks. So it makes a really neat effect, and you can use all colors that you want. There's even more colors than this, but these colors look really good together. So, and you can take those and you can make candle holders. We've got some candle holders over here that we've made, where we've swirled it up. Actually, on these ones, we've actually blended the clay like Kira showed you, and then rolled it up. So we did that a little differently. But if you check out our downloads, we're going to show you a complete project on how to make the candle holders and everything.
Mm-hmm. And then there's one more thing I wanted to show you that you can do with the alcohol inks and translucent liquid clay. This one is Kato clay, and I've taken some little reclosable containers that are made for small amounts of paint, and all I did here is pour some of the liquid clay into there and put a couple drops of lime green in this case and mix it in, and that makes almost like a paint. You can paint it directly onto an object and fire it, or you can paint it onto some more clay to make a different color on the surface. So there are a lot of different ways that you can use the inks, and
Right.
just use your imagination. If you wanted to paint like a scene on here, you can mix up as many different colors as you wanted and actually paint right onto glass. Some people that we've met have done that, where it actually looks like stained glass. So you know, if you used like a black line of clay that you roped and put on there and made a design, you could paint in the cells and use translucent clay with ink in it and create a stained glass effect.
Yeah, so just have fun with it. Try a bunch of different colors and see the combinations. Translucent, like I said, works the best, but you can color any color clay with the ink. So just play around with it and you'll come out with some neat results. So thanks for joining us today, and we hope you'll join us next time.
Send me some sorry lines, but passion undying, that the oceans can't subside. The storm blew from behind with all of your lies. You pushed me aside. I traveled the world for you, straight like a fool.